my channel. Hello. So today, since I'm tweaked out on coffee, which I normally don't even drink anyways, I am going to tell y'all a very embarrassing story. The most actually embarrassing story as a pet owner ever. Don't make my same mistakes. Like genuinely, like this is probably gonna get a lot of flack for me even telling this, but I feel like it's a story that needs to be told.
Get on with it. Yes, get on with it.
Anyways, so back in the year that will not be named, I was scrolling through Facebook one day and came upon this post saying that somebody had this giant lizard in their yard. And of course, I'm like, oh my god, I looked at it, it's an Argentine black and white tegu. So naturally, I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna message this person and see if I can wrangle your giant lizard. My husband was sitting outside with me as I'm like thinking about this, and he was just like, what are you even gonna do with this giant lizard? And I'm like, I'm gonna keep it and raise it as my own, don't worry about it. And he's like, you're crazy. And I'm like, I know. And then that's probably when he questioned why he married me and really thought about leaving me, maybe, I don't know, whatever, it's fine. I messaged this person, never got any reply. I don't know what happened to the lizard, but that instantly just set the seed in my mind that, man, I've always wanted to have an Argentine black and white tegu. I literally researched these guys for like 10 years. I basically have my Google doctorate degree in tegus. So I'm like, you know what? You know what? If I can't catch one in the wild, they're an invasive species, by the way, which will come back and literally bite me in the butt later, but we'll get to that. So I'm like, yeah, if I can't catch one and prevent one already out in the wild from like wreaking havoc, I'm gonna get one from a rescue that I have been following for a really long time. That's when it started. So I get in contact with I think his last name is Herb, but he runs this rescue called Tegus Only in Florida. Let me tell you, no shade to Tegus Only, but I will say this. Contacted him, seemed like a very nice guy, first of all. Contacted him, he sent me some photos via email of some tegus that he had. So I picked out the one that I wanted, which was a female and like the Florida fire belly morph, which is apparently some kind of genetic thing that they've created out there on their own, just in the wild, just being. Anyways, he showed me the pictures. I was like, yes, I want that. So after I paid him the money, he sent it to me. So keep in mind, prior to this happening, my husband, bless his heart, helped me build this 8x4 foot outdoor enclosure, which I, once again, researched the crap out of tegus. So I was like, it has to be super secure. There is no way that this like little guy or girl can get out, because they will absolutely take any chance they can get to just Houdini themselves out. Okay, it happened. Let me tell you. So I got a little live animal box, which didn't even say live animal on it at all. It was just like a regular box of holes in it. And I opened it. The four little things like wrapped in like pine shavings, which if you know anything about reptiles, you really shouldn't have them in pine shavings. Hello? Anyways, you really should. Thank you. Thank you. You should not have any animals, realistically, no reptiles at least, in pine shavings. And this guy has shipped to like allegedly over like 1,000 live tegus successfully. So like, I am not an expert at shipping live animals, so maybe it works for him, but realistically long term, you should not put a reptile in pine shavings. Come here. Come here. Thank you. Say hello to the camera. Are you a lizard? You're not a dog. You're not a doggy. No, I don't know what you are. Hello. I'm doing a vlog.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I've had a lot of coffee.
I think I destroyed the transmission in the wagon.
Anyways, clearly a little messed up about the pine shavings. It's really bad for their respiratory health. Literally can lead to respiratory issues such as infections, and if you keep them in there long term, can lead to death. So anyways, I called her Fluffy. Fluffy was not the same lizard that I had seen in the pictures. So that was number 2. Fluffy was very aggressive. Got this poor little adolescent lizard, literally like maybe 2.5 feet long. was not very happy, clearly. So I just put her out in her enclosure, let her do her thing for a while. Well, fast forward to the next day. It rains really bad. I'm at work. I'm like, oh my gosh, maybe I should go check on Fluffy to make sure she's okay. I get home, rush to the backyard, see if she's fine. There's no Fluffy. I'm freaking out. I'm frantically looking through the backyard, like frantically looking out front, anywhere, like seriously searched for like hours on end. My friend shows up who's supposed to come see Fluffy, super excited. Now she's roped into like finding Fluffy somewhere. I go like all the way down the street in my neighborhood, start knocking on people's doors, which is a very awkward conversation to have with your neighbors, saying, hey, have you seen a 2.5-foot black and white lizard by the name of Fluffy? It doesn't know its name because I've had it for less than 48 hours. It was great. Me, my husband, and my friend searched till night. Did not find anything. I put out a post like on Facebook asking to see if anybody sees anything, I'll offer a reward. So now the entire neighborhood that I live in, which is not a small one, is involved. And let me tell you, I didn't realize how many loose tegus there were just roaming around in my neighborhood. Because literally every single hour almost, I got tagged in. Here. Thank you. What a good boy. Every single post got tagged in. Is this your lizard? Is this your lizard? Is this your lizard? This has got to be it. None of them were Fluffy. They were all of various sizes and ages, genders, and I'm just like, this is genuinely a problem, and I'm just feeling it. Not happy with myself. Of course, I'm getting tagged and everything, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I'm sorry, that's ironically not my lizard. I would suggest calling animal control. I'm not even sure. There is a reason why tegus are now illegal in Alabama. They, like I said before, are an invasive species. There are probably currently, to my knowledge at least, 10 plus, thank you, 10 plus tegu lizards just chilling in the neighborhood, just this neighborhood alone, which is a very small portion of like a larger city. So who knows how many tegus are just like rampaging through the city, just breeding. It's really not funny. It's actually very unfortunate. I set up traps, caught almost everything except for tegus. I think a month, maybe a few weeks passed by, and my neighbor messages me, hey, I think they found your lizard. And I'm like, well, yeah, my sister's about to pull up and come get you. So I'm like, cool, bet, like, let's go, let's find this thing. She pulls up, girl, they're screaming down the street. They're yelling, there's something big roaming around in the backyard, so I like hop in her car. Like, I didn't even have to hop in her car, it was literally just a few houses down. And I'm like, where's the lizard at? And they're like, oh my God, it's down there somewhere, like, I don't know. So of course, like, I'm like Steve Irwin, like through their backyard, just like, I'm gonna wrangle this thing with my bare hands. Never found it. Her, him. I really don't even know if Fluffy, I don't know. Never found her. I set up traps down there. Never caught her. And I'm like really getting worried now because like it's kind of towards the end of the summer, and granted it doesn't get very cold here. I'm worried that if I don't find her, the likelihood of her surviving over the winter is not great. I continue to search, it gets cold, and of course, like most reptiles go through this thing called brumation, which is, for lack of a better term, like reptile hibernation. So I know like she's not gonna be active. I don't know where she's gonna be at, so I just like call off the search, which was super upsetting. I'm at the point where I'm like, great, tegus are about to be banned in this state. I'm never gonna own my dream reptile. Like, Fluffy's out there somewhere just like on her own, like potentially breeding with other tegus and making more problematic children. I'm a really neglectful owner for even letting her escape, which like to this day I don't even really know how she escaped. My theory is that she like literally crawled her way up out of the top of the enclosure. Seriously, through like a very small hole in the top, which I didn't even realize was there. But tegus, once again, they're little Houdinis, especially what is essentially a wild caught tegu. She's used to just finagling her way through stuff, trifling thing, whatever.
Clever girl.
I'm I'm super bummed. My husband is like, I'll get you another Tegu, like if it makes you happy. Cause like I was really depressed. And I'm like, no, I don't need to buy another Tegu. I was so upset. And I did find when, and I asked the guy if he could ship it to where I was. And that's how I got Wilson. Wilson was a much better behaved Tegu that came in a box that said live animal. It was not wrapped in pine shavings. So that was instantly better. You know, in the back of my mind, I was just like, wow, this feels really wrong. Cause like, I just hate to feel like I like fueled the problem, which I did, which I have. Long story short, if you can take away anything from this, 1, do not have an outdoor enclosure unless you are a very seasoned veteran taking care of tegus. 2, make sure your enclosure is locked down. I mean, I thought, even like doing the research that I had, thank you. I thought doing the research that I had done that it would be enough and would suffice, but that just goes to show you that sometimes like doing the amount of research doesn't equate, like doing high amounts of research does not equate like actual experience. I am example A of that. You know, I still try to be on the lookout for Fluffy. I really hope that like she's okay and that she's not breeding with other lizards, but it's really, I don't know, like it sucks, y'all. I really don't know how to put it any other way. It's really embarrassing for me because I take pride in keeping good care of my animals. I have pride in like making sure that they're happy, and that was the biggest pitfall that I've ever had. Wilson now, he has an indoor enclosure which encompasses half of a room. He is, I would like to think, a very happy, healthy lizard. He's legal, he's got his papers. If anything, I want anybody who is interested in having a legal Tegu, like if it's not illegal where you live, to just don't do an outside enclosure. Please, for the love of God. That was really irresponsible on my part. And that's why the state of Alabama has to come check on my enclosure every year and make sure that I just have one documented Tegu. Anyways, here's Wilson. That's my boy. He is a happy, healthy boy. And he's not even fully grown yet. I love him. So yeah. Don't do what I did. Learn from my mistakes. And it's a really vulnerable story. And I'm very embarrassed by it. Yeah, if you want to like leave hate in the comments or whatever, I fully deserve it. But you know, it led to getting this boy, and he's a good, very good boy. And he's what Tegu should be. He is basically a scaly dog. Anyways, be good. Take care of your animals. Do not get a freaking outside enclosure or I will personally come to your house until you stop. Anyways, love you, bye.